Hey everyone. Oh, there's a live chat on here. I just wanted to come on here quickly and give a message to those of you who are students who are in school for nail technology to be a nail technician, or maybe you're in school for cosmetology because you're wanting to be a cosmetologist. Or maybe you're in school for barbering, or just basically any field in the beauty industry. I've been in this industry since the year 2000, so it has been 20 years for me. It feels like it's only been 5 years though, but it has been 20 years. And my career started out, of course, in beauty school. And I think most of us become an enthusiast. We are like trying to dye our hair at home, and, we're like getting these huge splotches, and we end up in a professional salon a lot of times and they fix it. Or we jack up our nails at home, we spill acetone on the coffee table and ruin it. These types of things. And eventually a lot of us end up in school to become a professional or to get professionally licensed. And maybe you're someone who's thinking about going to school to get a professional license. Maybe you're in school right now. Maybe you've already been to school. My experience in school was a very frustrating one. I went to cosmetology school. I didn't care about nails. I just wanted to learn hair. And there were two things that I really wanted to learn in beauty school. One of them was the inverted bob haircut, which is like the haircut that, is like the bob that's slanted and tilted and cut like kind of high in the back and comes way down. And the other thing I wanted to learn was men's haircuts. And I got maybe 3/4 of the way through school, realized that they were never going to teach us those things. And I was really pissed. I felt like, I was probably like 19 years old, and I really felt like I'm the customer here. And it's so funny because it's like young people, and it's from all backgrounds, all upbringings, all races, all ethnicities. And it's like so funny because now that I've been in this industry for 20 years, I have talked to students who were in the same mental place that I was in back then. So I'm like, I'm the customer. I'm paying for my beauty school, and I want to learn how to do a men's haircut, and I want to learn how to do an inverted bob. And I was literally in the administrator's office crying because they weren't teaching us these things that I felt like we really should have learned to be successful. I mean, duh, I have to learn how to do a men's haircut and an inverted bob to be able to be successful in the beauty world. I'm not asking to learn crazy things. I mean, these are things I feel like I need. And that administrator explained to me that their goal at the school is to make sure that we pass our state board exam. And that literally is the objective. The objective that they have is for me to pass my exam. It is not to teach me what I need to actually succeed out in the world of the beauty industry. It is just to get me to pass my exam. And that frustrated me a lot. I always thought of beauty school as being such a like magical place where you get to, play with all of these things and cut hair and try things. And it was really none of that. And so it was a little bit of that, but not much. Fast forward years later, and here I am. Hi, Jacqueline. Here I am. I am in the process of opening my own school, and I am writing some of the curriculum and some of like the handbooks and things like that. And I really just wanted to record this video message because I feel like this is something that needs to be heard by every student that's going to come to my school, and by every student that's going to go to any beauty school or cosmetology school in the United States. And the message is this: schools are not allowed to teach whatever they want to teach. And that might sound really crazy to you. Why wouldn't they be able to teach whatever they want to teach? If it's your school, you should be able to teach whatever you want. Does not work that way at all. because the way that schools work, the schools are run by laws that are created in every individual state. It's not the big US government that's making the rules. It's every individual state is responsible for writing the rules in regard to cosmetology, barbering, nail technicians, estheticians, all of that stuff. It's up to the state. So every state has a group of people in place that are these rule writers that make these rules. And so in the state of Florida, where I'm located now, we have an organization called the DBPR, which is the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. They also regulate real estate agents and veterinarians and contractors, and they happen to also regulate cosmetology, which is going to be hairstylists, nail technicians, barbers, estheticians, all of that. And so hair braiders, I mean, all of it is underneath the Board of Cosmetology in Florida. So the Board of Cosmetology has these like statutes, which are actual like laws. So I don't know if you guys remember learning about how a bill becomes a law, but it is very much a big, slow, expensive process. So the state and the Board of Cosmetology work together to write these laws. And I have watched over the last 10 years in the state of Florida, people try to change these laws. They rewrite them. They want to change this. They want to change that. And so the bill goes to like the Senate and it goes to the House, and then they make some changes, and it's got to go back here and get voted on, then it has to go here. People go and protest, they get really passionate about it, but every time it dies. It never makes it all the way through to where the governor will actually sign it. And so it's like a big, slow process. So what do we do? What are schools supposed to do? In the state of Florida, the rules are written so that they basically say, if you're going to go to nail school in Florida, here's how it works. You have to do this many services. So services are like manicures and pedicures and sculptured nails and things like that. So they have an actual list that says, well, you have to do 20 manicures and you have to do 10 pedicures and you have to do 15 sets of sculptured nails and so on and so forth. So they have like an itemized list of services that you have to complete to get your license. And on the other side of things, they have your theory hours. So they say to you, here's everything that you have to learn, all of the topics like sanitation, like HIV and AIDS, all of these things that you have to learn before we can give you your license. So they give this list to the schools and they say, okay, if you want to be a school that qualifies people to get their license, here's our rules and here's what you have to teach as a school. So it's not the schools saying, what do you really need to be successful out there in the beauty industry? It's the state saying, what do they really need to be successful out there in the industry? But the stuff is we're in a very fast-paced industry. The cosmetology industry is changing so rapidly, and the state is so big and slow and can't get anything changed that the state things that they've written are like 20 or 30 years old and just have not even changed. And that's typical for almost every state in the United States. So the challenge that we have for schools and the reason why students end up so frustrated and they take it out on their teachers and they take it out on other students and they get pissed because they go to these schools where they feel like they were promised the world, like they were going to learn everything they needed to, be successful in the beauty industry. But when a school says that to you, what they're saying is, we're going to teach you everything that the state thinks 20 years ago you needed to learn to be successful in the industry. And that's really the truth of the matter. And so the schools are only required to do the bare minimum that they have to do to prepare, according to what the state has written, to prepare you to get your license. In some states, you have to take a test to get your license. In other states like Florida, when you're becoming a nail technician, you don't even have to take a test. You just have to go do all this stuff at the school. The school signs off on it. You can go and turn in your paperwork and your fee to get your license. So, Understanding this before you go to school is very helpful to keep you from getting frustrated and saying, but I want to learn this. Can't they see that this is what's popular? Can't they see that polygel is like the new thing? Why aren't we learning polygel in school? Can't they see that every single nail technician uses an electric file at their table? Why aren't we required to learn this in school? Why can't the state see that? And it's like, I don't really know how to answer that for you. I mean, I'm sure the people who are on the State Board of Cosmetology probably get nails done, and I'm sure senators go get mani-pedis and their wives go get mani-pedis. And what is it going to take for them to realize that the rules aren't lining up? I mean, I don't know. And so in the meantime, I have two choices as a person who sees all of this very clearly. I can go and I can become a lobbyist and I can go fight at the state level and I can go find somebody to help me try to rewrite rules and rewrite laws and submit them to get passed back and forth and possibly pass and possibly die and never get passed. And it's a very time-consuming thing, and it takes years and years of life to do this. And I'm willing to do it. I will do it. I will commit to trying to get involved with the state. But at the same time, in the meantime, while all of that bickering is going on back and forth at a state level, what do we do as a school? What can I do as a school? So in opening the school that I'm opening, what I'm having to do is take this list that the state gives, the list of the services and the list of the theory stuff. And I have to figure out, first of all, how to do this, because it has to get done. You can't get your license without this stuff. Whether I think it's important or not important, you have to do it. So making sure that both of these things get done the way that the state wants them, but then taking every little inch of leeway that's left behind and teaching the students everything that they need to learn and know that's relevant to right now, to being able to graduate and be successful. And that's something that I'm doing at the school that I'm building, but it's not normal. It is not normal for schools to really get in there and take this extra fluffy area that's left over and really make something amazing out of it. And it's so disappointing that they don't, but there's no incentive for them to do it. It's expensive to do it. It's time consuming to do it. You have to find people who can write curriculum, and it's just not something that the average school is even able to do. So at best, schools are really there to just provide you with what you need to pass your test. Schools are there to provide you with what you need to be able to register with the state to get your license. And that's literally all that they have to do. So you can get in there and you can get pissed at your teacher and make her life a living hell. It's not going to help anything. And let me tell you, if you have a teacher that goes above and beyond, that is teaching you, I want you, if you're going to beauty school, it literally will take you 5 minutes to do this. Go to your state board and find in the laws where it says what the school is required to teach you. And I want you to look at this list and really look at it. And then I want you to take note every time your teacher decides to teach you something more than what's on that list, because they deserve a pat on the back. They deserve a big thank you, if nothing else, from you. A thank you card, a massage, a gift card to a restaurant would be fabulous. But they really, because teachers who go out on a limb and do this stuff put their jobs at risk. There are teachers out there in beauty school who are getting paid maybe $15 an hour, maybe $20 an hour if they're on the higher end of things. And they are taking that money and they are purchasing supplies for you guys to use in class, because the school will not do that. So there are teachers out there who are really just, they'd love to teach and they're passionate about teaching, but they have to do it in the confines of the hand that they've been dealt. And sometimes it's a school that's really excited about going above and beyond, and sometimes it's a school that wants to but doesn't have the budget. So they're like, hey, we'll let you do it, but you have to spend your own money. And sometimes it's a school that's like, no, This is what we're teaching. This is how it is, period. If you don't like it, you don't need to be a teacher here. And what really sucks though is when you're sold on the illusion that you're gonna learn everything that you need to be successful in the industry, and then you don't, because they're going by the definition that the state gave 20 years ago. And I think we all know that it's just not, it's not what it should be. So I saw a couple of you comment. I normally don't go live on here. Oh, where'd the comments go? Well, I'll go back and read the comments after, and I'll comment back to those of you who have commented. And I appreciate you guys on here who are watching, and I appreciate your comments very much. I really just wanted to get on here and share from the heart. I want to share this video with my students who plan on going to my school that I am creating now, because I really just want them to understand that you don't really have perspective when you're in nail school. It's not like you go to nail school a few times and you can say, oh, well, the last nail school I went to, it was like so bad, but like I didn't really realize it when I was in nail school till I got to this nail school, because this nail school is awesome. Like, you go to nail school once. You go to beauty school one time typically. Sometimes you have to go more than once if you change states, or if you are like not from the United States and maybe you were, But for most people, they get to go to school one time in the beauty industry. So you really don't have anything to compare it to, and you don't have any perspective when you're in it. But after you graduate, and after you really like hear from other people about their school experiences, and then if you ever get the privilege of getting to go into nail schools on behalf of a brand or a company to go and teach about product or about whatever, just to give back of your time, and you get to really see different nail schools, it really makes you realize like how good you had it or how bad you had it. And that's really very eye-opening for certain people. Hi there, Kathy. So I just wanted to get on here and leave this little message and say, there are teachers out there who are incredible, who are just going so far above and beyond. And I was so fortunate. When I was in beauty school, there was a teacher I loved. She was a Christian, and she used to put anointing oil in her spray bottle and literally walk down the hallways and just spray it everywhere. But like, there wasn't really a teacher that stuck out for me in beauty school. But I will say this. Fast forward 10 years, I moved to Florida, and I started teaching at a beauty school. And there is a teacher there named Miss Janice, who really took me under her wing. And she really, she didn't get to spend a lot of time with me because the school just didn't give her a lot of time to spend with me. But the little times that I got to spend with her, the things that she taught me about educating and being an educator were just so valuable. And it was such a blessing. And she is still 10 years later out there teaching at like a public beauty school, going above and beyond for these students. And I feel like these students just have no idea what an incredible teacher they have. And it's sad. So if you're in school and you're hearing what I'm saying and you're thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe school isn't as bad as I thought, just get yourself into perspective a little bit and really thank your teacher. And if your teacher's crappy, or maybe you don't even, there are nail schools out there that don't even have a nail instructor. They have a cosmetology instructor that doesn't even know how to do nails, babysitting the nail program. If that's you and that's the program that you're in, I am so sorry. I am so sorry that that is what you have to go through in your state to get your license. It is what it is. So get through it. Get your license. There is a lot of education available now online, thanks to YouTube, thanks to just online learning in general. So don't give up hope. You're not hopeless. Get that license and then get out there and get connected into nail networking groups, into shows, anywhere, Facebook groups. Just watch the Facebook groups, because everybody in the Facebook group wants to be helpful, but not all of them have a good education behind them. So just watch who you take advice from on Facebook, because everybody likes to act like they know what they're talking about, but not a lot of them do. But they do have a good heart, and they're just trying to be helpful. So be careful on Facebook. You guys know you can always reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. My name is Lauren Wireman. And you are welcome to reach out to me. And yeah, it's the best thing to do when you're looking for a school is just ask for recommendations and really hear from the people who have graduated from the schools, what your options are. That's the best way to find a school and the best way to figure out, which school to go to, because bigger schools have the money to get on these lists. So when you go on Google and you type in nail school in Maryland, you're going to see the schools that have the most money for advertising budgets. That's what you're going to see. But there might be a smaller school out there that maybe isn't some great big money making beast. And then there's federal financial aid, which I can't go on too long about it because I have a meeting that I have to get to, but federal financial aid is available for any program. I have 4 minutes, all right. I gotta talk about this. Federal financial aid is available for any program that is over 600 hours. So if your program is over 600 hours, your school has to first get accredited. So the school has to pay, it's like $12,000 to become an accredited school. And what that does is it allows, accreditation is we're an agency and we're gonna make you jump through all of these hoops. And then once you've jumped through all of our hoops, basically then we will let the US government, the big government, know that you've jumped through all of our hoops and that you are able to receive federal financial aid for your students. And so what happens is people open the schools. The schools have to be open for 2 years. Once the school's open for 2 years, they apply for accreditation, pay the 12 grand because it's like chump change. When you look at how much money it becomes a cash cow, and it's so sad. But basically, once you are able to get your programs applied for federal financial aid. Now, in my state, nails is only 240 hours, so we don't even qualify for federal financial aid in my state. But cosmetology does, and what a lot of states do is they'll stack the nail program with the esthetician program to hit the 600-hour mark. Because when they hit the 600-hour mark, they can get funding for you from the US government. And for them, it's like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. And sorry, my husband just tried to call me. What happens when they get all this money in is the school literally just does the bare minimum to meet the accreditation, to meet the laws, from the state of what they're required to teach you. And that's pretty much the end of it. And then, they just make all kinds of money and do the bare minimum. It's so sad. So anyway, that's the 2 cents on accreditation and federal financial aid. Not every school is like that, but a lot of them are, and it's so sad. So hang in there, you guys. The beauty industry is awesome. You can make a lot of money in the beauty industry, but I'm gonna tell you really fast before I go. There are really critical things you have to learn. 1, sanitation. It is so important. You saw what happened with the Rona and all this stuff going on. Sanitation is so important to learn. So you have sanitation, you gotta learn business. You have to learn what it means to be a 1099 or a W-2. You have to, because if you don't, you'll get taken advantage of. So you've got sanitation. This is to protect you so you don't get sued, so you don't spread diseases to people and get sued and lose everything you own. Business, so that you don't get taken advantage of. So important. And then you need to actually learn how to do this stuff for real, not what they teach you in school, but actually get good education and mentorship. And then you probably need Jesus too. And if you put all of that together, you have a recipe for success. But some of those things are really meant to be like a buffer and to protect you, because you can have all the creativity and charisma and personality and talent, but if you don't know how to run a business, you're not going to be successful. And if you don't know how to sanitize your stuff properly and keep people safe, including yourself, you're not going to be successful. So yeah, and you need Jesus too. Just saying. All right, y'all, I love you. God bless you. Enjoy your education and just get through it. Just get to the other side.